What up, what up, what up, and happy holidays to all that celebrates. It's your girl K.Honesty, and I'm about to do a very late review of Tyler Perry's Sistas Season 6, Episode 22. So if you haven't seen that episode, go watch the episode, turn this video off until you finish watching that episode, and then come back and watch this video. And yeah, it's the holidays, so of course my reviews are a little late, so I appreciate people that do watch them, even though it's been like a week since Sistas already done came on. But I appreciate whoever watches. But like I said, if you haven't seen Tyler Perry's Sistas Season 6, Episode 22, turn this video off, go watch the episode, and come back and watch this video. And like this video and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. It literally takes less than 4 seconds to do. It's a simple and free way to support my channel. It's not going to take nothing away from your life to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out when I post. And also, I'm not a public speaker, so you're going to hear me say, you're going to hear me say so, you're going to hear me say like 1,000 times. It is what it is. I might stop to regain my thoughts. I'm definitely going to be looking at my notes that I take throughout the show. And anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. And comment below what you would grade this episode, what you thought of the episode, what I talked about, if I forgot anything, if I was off on anything. All that good stuff, comment below. I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews because I be changing my mind. I don't be keeping this. I always change. Sometimes I change my mind when I'm talking about the show, but for the most part, I feel like I've been saying in my previous reviews, since the mid-season premiere of Sistas, we've been getting some good. It's been getting a good. I've been liking it. I ain't been mad at it. So I'm gonna give this episode a B-. It wasn't bad. Maybe as I talk about it through scene, maybe I'll bump it up to a B+. But for right now, B-, which is not bad. Still a passing grade. It's still a passing grade. But yeah, I feel like it's B-. I might change at the end of this review. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, last chance. If you haven't seen Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 6, Episode 22, turn this video off because I'm about to spoil the entire episode. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Okay? Let me get a sip of my coffee before we start. Okay. So the first episode, I don't know why they tried to make it seem like Danny getting the message from Preston was the final scene of last week's episode when it wasn't. The final scene of last week's episode was when Penelope popped up on Andy and Gary was like, where y'all two going? That's how it ended. But then this episode, at the beginning of this episode, they tried to make it seem like the last scene from last week's episode was Danny getting this message from Preston. But either way, I digress. So the first scene of this episode is Preston sending Danny a picture of him getting married. He sends her a text also that says she made her decision and she's blocked on his phone and out of his life. I ain't even mad. I'm not that mad at Preston. I'm sorry, like, Danny's a gaslighter. She be just out here doing anything. I feel like she don't really want to be with him because he's white and she got to kind of like teach him how to date a black girl. She the first black girl he ever dated. So it was kind of like a teaching thing. And I feel like Danny didn't want to do that. And like I said, Danny's just like the way she gaslit that whole argument that they had. I don't blame Preston. I mean, getting married in less than 24 hours is sketchy, Preston. But I don't blame him for, living his life. But I definitely don't think it's the end between Danny and Preston. But either way, I'm not mad at Preston for what he did. So Danny's seeing all this come to Preston, sending her this stuff. She's still on the phone with Sabrina. Sabrina's like, how do you feel about all this? And Danny's like, well, I'm feeling good. Like, I'm going to go out with Tony tonight and have a good time. So Sabrina's like, oh, well, I'm going out with Rich. I think they already discussed this. But Sabrina brings up, you want a double date? She brings it up again. Danny's like, no. So then we get the scene. We're back at Andy's firm. We get the scene from the final scene from last week's episode in the second scene of this episode, where Gary, he trying to steady apologize to Penelope, saying that Andy meant nothing to him, this, that, and the third. Penelope's telling him that he don't want to talk. That she don't want to talk. And Andy's like, you want to step off? And Gary's like, no. And Fatima even steps in, has the big dog on Gary's ass. So Andy and Penelope walk away. Fatima gets in Gary's face and Gary starts threatening her job. Like, do you like your job? And Fatima, she a solid bitch. So she like, I don't care. Like, what you think you going to make me lose my job? Hayden already done tried that. So Gary mentions something about, I can't believe you did Hayden like that, whatever. Why are they acting like it's so, I don't know. They acting like Tamira had AIDS or something and she passed it to Hayden. It was just it ain't her fault that Hayden fell for the damn bitch so quick. Even Fatima was starting to feel sorry for what she did. But either way, so Gary, he threatens Fatima's job. Fatima don't seem fazed by it. He's like, I have an appointment with my lawyer. And I'm like, well, Hayden told your ass in the last episode that you had to find a new attorney. But now Hayden, he back on the hating Fatima track. So he's like, yeah, my client's here to see me. He pops up out of nowhere behind Fatima. Yeah, my client's here, Gary, he's here to see me. Then he says to Fatima, oh, the shit I got planned for you. And I'm just like, oh, God, here we go with this shit. I'm like, she should have just got his ass killed when they had him stripped naked on the top of that car. Because I'm tired of Hayden. I'm tired of him, bro. That plan was working so good until Gary got his little PI involved. Oh, damn, be smart. But either way. So now Andy and Penelope are in Andy's office. And Penelope starts getting emotional. Asking Andy, like, you still in love with Gary? And Andy says she still loves Gary, but she's not. She's kind of like, she says she's not in love with Gary like she used to be. So Penelope's like, well, do you still want to be with Gary? And Andy's like, well, not after last night. So it's like, damn, before that situation, before she found out about Penelope, she was still, I mean, of course, Andy, she was still thinking about going back to Gary. So Penelope, she pulls out a calendar. You know, Jordan last episode said Penelope is a data analyst, so she likes to get down to the nitty gritty. So she pulled out this calendar. And she's like, I want to know if, first she was like, Andy, are you up for this? And Andy was like, well, no. That's why I told your brother that, but you popped up on me. What the fuck else choice do I have? Like, that's what I feel like Andy should have said. But Andy was like, no, I'm not prepared for this. But I mean, go on, get on with it. So Penelope pulls out this calendar. And she's like, I want to know if you were with Gary on the days that I have marked off. So Andy's like, well, looking at some of these dates, I could tell that we were definitely together on some of these dates. So then Andy starts pointing out some days where she wasn't with him, but he wasn't with Penelope neither. So Penelope says that she tells Andy, like, we weren't the only ones. Like, there's at least two other women. And I was like, damn, I didn't know that was going to happen. I thought it was just going to be Andy and Penelope. I didn't think it was going to be another two women involved. I was like, sheesh. This nigga Gary, where does he have the time? So Penelope, she brings up the ring that Gary proposed to Andy with, and now she's wearing. Notice how Penelope's still wearing her ring. So I'm like, is she going to low-key take Gary back? Because, I mean, Andy don't want him no more. So Penelope brings up the ring that he proposed to Andy with and that she's still wearing. And then shows Andy a picture of another woman wearing the same ring. So Andy's like, oh, hell no. How about we just go get the answer straight from the source? She called Fatima, like, Fatima, we about to go for a walk. So Penelope's like, I don't want to talk to Gary. Andy's like, don't even worry about it. I do all the talking. So Andy, Penelope, and Fatima, they head to Hayden's office to confront Gary. They get in there, and first of all, Gary and Hayden stand up like, they were sitting down. They stand up quick as hell, like, we know we about to get this. I mean, Hayden will, but, you know, Gary about to get the shit talked into him. Whatever. I said that wrong, but it is, but you know what I mean. So Andy shows Gary the calendar Penelope made and says that you were with two women besides us. And Fatima's like, what? So Gary, he continues to try to belittle Andy, saying he didn't care nothing about her. She was nothing, da-da-da. Still trying to appease to Penelope. I love you. We have this child. You my everything, da-da-da, whatever. So then Andy brings up, well, do you know that I met Gary? He was married. So Penelope started losing it. She's like, you had a whole wife? And Gary just like, oh, God. Like, I'm like, damn, so she didn't know about the wife? She didn't know about the wife? I mean, I guess, because he kept everything. He was keeping everything from her. So Gary's still trying to appease her and calls Andy trash and this, that, and the third. So then Andy's like, oh, that's good because you meant nothing to me either. Says I was just using you until I found the perfect partner. I was taking all the gifts you was giving me, the rose, the penthouse, all that stuff. She's like, and thank you for helping me, like basically helping me figure out that you're not the type of man that I want. Like basically helping me see the light. Kind of looked like it ate Gary up when she was saying all that. So the ladies leave the office. And Andy's like, I wish we could know what they saying in there, what Hayden and Gary and they saying. So Fatima's like, oh, I left my phone in there. I'm listening through the AirPod. So Andy's like, oh, yes. So Fatima gives Andy the AirPod. And they listen through the earbuds. And basically Gary telling Hayden that Andy means nothing to him. And that Penelope is weak and she'll come around eventually. And I'm just like, damn, this is what Penelope need to be hearing. I was like, Penelope needed one of these AirPods. But instead, they got her just standing like, what are they saying? I'm like, no, this is the point where, because Penelope seemed like she probably gonna break down and give in eventually, like he said. But if she would have heard him say she's weak and she gonna give in eventually, I'm pretty sure that's something for Penelope should have heard. But instead, you got Fatima and Andy listening in when they already know Gary ain't shit. Penelope's still on the fence. I feel like she should have been listening in. But either way, they was like, girl, you don't want to know what they talking about. But either way, you better off without them, basically. Also, they overhearing Hayden saying that we got to figure out a way to get Fatima and Zatima, if you will. And Gary's like, I'm not. He ain't really feeling the getting on Zach thing because Zach ain't did shit to him. Fatima ain't did shit to him, but he ain't really feeling I ain't feeling going after Zach. So then they notice that Fatima's phone's still in there. And Gary's like, oh, shit. Like, they know that they was listening. Fatima comes in there, oh, I left my phone. They're like, oh, so you just left your phone in here, huh? So, Fatima comes back and, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I said, excuse me before I burped. So, Penelope, she leaves. And Fatima tells Andy, don't worry about Gary. I know you upset, this, that, and the third, but how about you just go and have a wonderful date with Jordan. And then we get this part where Andy tells Fatima, you need to stop messing with Hayden and the whole Tamira thing was wrong of you. I was like, but wasn't nobody going to, like, what? I was like, get out of my face. I would have been like, get the fuck out of my face. You talking about it was wrong? Like, no. He was started fucking with her first because she wouldn't give him another date or whatever it was. Like, nah. I don't like the way they be telling Fatima. She's like, no. Even Fatima started feeling bad about the way she set Tamira up with him. But I was like, shut up, Andy. Hayden getting exactly what he deserved. So then we get this scene. Karen, she gets off the phone with the realtor. Tells the I forget. Did they give us the contractor's name yet? I just know that his real name is Jason Weaver. He was the voice of Simba on The Lion King. He played on Smart Guy. He plays on The Shy. All that. His real name is Jason Weaver. I don't know what his name is on this show, but he's the contractor for Karen. He's Karen's contractor, if you will. So Karen comes from making the phone call to the realtor, tells the contractor dude, like, the realtor's on his way. She tells him who the realtor is. And the contractor's like, oh yeah, I know who Chelsea is. This should be easy. So Chelsea comes walking in and the contractor's like, this is a sweet deal, right? And Chelsea trying to play it off like, no, let me talk to my client alone. So this contractor dude, he leaves out. Chelsea starts talking about how much of a catch the contract. Why do they trying to make fetch happen? They trying to make it seem like Jason Weaver's so fine. Like, I'm not saying he's completely unattractive, but he's not as fine as they dragging it along. He ain't no Tyson Beckford out here. Like, what the fuck? This nigga ain't Shamar Moore. I was just like, what is going on? He ain't that fine the way y'all making it seem. Like, he ain't ugly, but it's just like the way they saying he is. That man fine. Like, he ain't all that. Either way. I put please stop gassing this man like he Tyson Beckford or somebody. Anyway, so she tells Karen how much of a catch he is, this, that, and the third. He'll never cheat on his wife, da-da-da. Then she tells Karen, like, it's a low price. You should take the deal. I was just trying to be, trying to talk my shit while he was in here or whatever. Oh, yeah, and then the contractor, he mentions before he leaves out that he has to drop Karen back off to her car. So then the realtor, she brings it up in this moment. She's like, oh, I can't believe he drove you over here. Like, he would never let a woman in his car unless he must really like you, da-da-da. And then she was like, and the fact that he lowered the price for you, the price is really fair. Like, he must really like you. I'm just like, where are we getting at with this? Because this man is a married man. Y'all saying that he don't cheat on his wife. what's gonna be off about this guy? I'm just waiting to see what's gonna be off about him. So the realtor lady tells Karen, Chelsea, she tells Karen, like, if you want us to represent you, we can start getting the ball rolling now. Karen's like, yes, of course, I want y'all to represent me. So Fatima, she gets home, and Zach, he's still upset about Michael. You know, that's been his whole storyline since the mid-season premiere. Like, he just been trying to worry about getting his little son back. So he suggests to Fatima, like, you think I offer to give Heather $100K for Michael, she'd take it, whatever. So Fatima's like, well, she just a hood rat. She just gonna come asking for more cheddar once it's gone. I was like, that's true. She gonna ask for more. So she was like, plus it wouldn't hold up in court. We just gonna have to wait. We got to be patient. So Zach's like, man, I already drew up the papers. All I need is a notary and a witness. And Fatima's like, well, you're not gonna listen to me. You're gonna do what you're gonna want to do. So she tells Zach to start off at $25K. Cause she was like, if you offer her $100K off jump, she gonna know she can get more than that. She gonna try to go for $1 million. So Zach's like, okay. He's like, okay, let's go now. Let's go do it now. So Sabrina, she calls Danny again. Just calling to check on you, see if you're good. Still want to see if you want to go on a double date. Danny's like, no, I don't want to go on a double date. Just a single date for me, please. So Sabrina's like, okay, I just don't want you to be out here doing something that you don't want to do. And like, basically, I don't want you going on a date with Tony, ruining it because you're still thinking about Preston. Or I don't want you going on a date with Tony and you don't really like him. You're just trying to get over Preston, all those situations. So then she tells Danny, I'm going to stop past your house before I go on my date with Rich. And Danny's like, you don't have to do that. You treat me like I'm a child. Da, da, da. Sabrina's like, I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. And they end the call. Then Maurice comes out in some dominatrix outfit. Talking about, I got to make a living somehow, honey. So he said he was working on some app. Booty. I can't remember the name of it. Maurice would just be wild. Another episode without Calvin. But I'm not complaining. But I do want to know where Robin is. Where is Robin? They just wrote him off the damn show. I just watched him recently on Monk's little movie. If you watched the show Monk back in the day, he came out with a movie and Robin was on there. He died, but I'm sorry, but whatever. Spoiler alert. I ain't say how he died and when in the movie does he die. So I ain't spoil it too much. But anyway, I'm sidetracked like motherfucker. So Sabrina, after Maurice come out in that outfit, he's like, I gotta make a living somehow. Sabrina's like, you're gonna find another job. And Maurice is like, well, until then. So Sabrina's like, well, I'm leaving. And right before she leaves, Maurice reads her damn outfit for filth. I don't know, what was she wearing though? Like, they be trying to make Sabrina look bad. Like, her outfits be weird. Like, she had on some type of green suit look situation. I was like, I hope she's not wearing it on her date. I hope she's going to stop home and change it into a nice little dress or something. But knowing the way they be making Sabrina look, that's probably what she wearing. Because Maurice was like, you going out wearing that? So then we get this little scene at the airport. Tony approaches Danny. They do a little flirting back and forth. He's like, I'm going to take you somewhere nice. And then he tells Danny Rich called him and suggested a double date too, like Sabrina did. And he was like, nah, maybe we can meet up for drinks later. And Danny was like, nah, I just wanted to be us. They do a little flirting back and forth. It is what it is. So then we get this scene. It's the team, but they show up to Heather's place. Zach offers Heather the $25K for the custody of Michael. Heather's like, no, I'm not just taking that. Zach says, okay, $50K. Heather's like, no. So Zach's like, okay, $100K. So Heather's like, oh, you got $100K? Well, I know I could get $1 million. I was like, oh my God, this is what Fatima just told his ass. Just told his ass, if you offer $100K, she's going to know she can get $1 million. So Heather tells the team to leave and she's like, I'm going to take you to court. Zach like, I don't care about the courts. Like, take me to court, whatever. Zach don't care. Like, That's the thing. Zach don't mind going to court. He just mad that it's taking so long. He trying to do it the legal way, but it's taking too long for him. So you saying you take him to court, that's not a flex. So Heather's telling Fatima to leave. And then Fatima, she goes in the bathroom and sees Michael in the goddamn tub tied up. And Zach runs in there like, you got him tied up in the tub. And Heather's like, he like to run away or something like that. No disrespect or anything, but I'm starting to think that maybe Michael is a little autistic because we haven't seen him talk a lot, and I don't know. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just a scared little boy, but I don't know. I'm not trying to just put assumptions out there, but it's given a little bit, but I don't know. So Zach immediately grabs Michael up and starts untying him and stuff. What I'm kind of mad about, when they seen the way that Michael, the situation that Michael was in, they should have took some pictures, called the lawyer and been like, look, this is what she doing to him. They probably could have been able to take him away, like without getting in trouble. But instead, Zach grabs up Michael and unties him or whatever. Fatima, like grabbing her purse, not pulling the gun all the way out, but like holding her purse, like Heather, she pushes Heather down and like, I wish you would get up, bitch, basically. But don't pull the gun fully out of her purse. But we already know what's in Fatima's purse. Even before they left the house, Zach was like, leave your purse, because this is not a hostile takeover. But it's a good thing she bought that motherfucker. Even though I feel like she could have took Heather. And then in the last episode preview, they made it seem like Fatima was beating Heather ass. She didn't do nothing but just sling her ass on the floor. But either way, they grab Michael up and they leave out. And as they leave, and the neighbors out the window, like, about time y'all came and got him up out of here. But I'm just like, I hope they don't get in trouble for that, because they didn't take no pictures. They should have called the cops or something and left him the way he was until they got there. Something to prove that his living situation is bad. So then we get this final scene. Like I said, I did not see this coming in this episode. This final scene, Danny gets to her car and it's vandalized. Like the windows are bust out of it. I don't know if the tires are bust, but car's been vandalized. Guy comes up behind her with a scarf around his mouth, and he grabs her up, puts her in a van. That's how the episode ended. And like I said, I would grade it a B- because I didn't see that Danny scene coming. That really caught me off guard. I'm assuming that's the guy that she brung back to her place, and he spit on her and all that, and she ran him over with her car. Because remember, the baby mother told her that she got him out of jail and to watch out for him because he crazy and he ain't gonna stop and all that. So I'm assuming this is who this is. Because who else got beef with Danny? I can't think of nobody else. I don't feel like this is something Preston would set up. I don't feel like it's nobody else. I feel like it's that guy. So I'm like, what is he going to do? Like, predictions for episodes to come. Like I said, I wish the team would have took pictures of the situation with Michael before they just snatched him up out of there. Because I feel like ain't nothing going to happen next episode, but they going to give him back to Heather. Because they came in there and took him like they did, like Zach did last time. Like I said, I don't think it's the end between Danny and Preston, but I wonder what's gonna happen with what's gonna happen with Danny, and I wonder if Tony if he gonna like try to ask around where where Danny is, before he just assumes she stood him up or something. What else? I don't think this is the end of Andy and Gary, but I think it's the end of their relationship. I don't think they're gonna get back together romantically, but yeah, I think they still gonna have this tiff with the whole Penelope situation and all that. We just got to see how that goes. Is Sabrina completely done with Calvin? Because Rich seems like a nice guy. I wonder if they're gonna show us an actual conversation between the two of them. The last conversation we seen was when they was on the public bus together. They didn't really talk too much, and then the whole group, all three of the dates start joining in convo, so it wasn't really too much. But I guess we're just going to see. And thanks for watching this review. Comment below what you would grade the episode, what you thought of the episode, what I talked about, if I forgot anything, if I was off on anything, all that good stuff. Comment below. And like this video and subscribe to my channel, because it's not the only show that I review. Sistas is not the only show that I review. I review other shows as well. I'm about to do a review of A Murder at the End of the World. I'm about to do a review of that. So if you've seen that entire series, check out my review of that. And check out my other reviews if you watch those shows. I'm doing my Power review, Raising Kanan, tomorrow. Give people a chance to watch it today because it's Friday and it came out today. But anyway, I'll see y'all in the next review. Thanks for watching. Peace.